Hey, welcome back to the 12-week year accountability group. Today, I'm going to be talking, I had to get it out of the thing, is these weekly reflection pages. They are in your handout. You have one for every week. It's really easy to ignore them. But for those of you um, who are the super achievers, which is kind of most of you that come to that group. As you know, my name is Mikeworth, and I am your hostess for this accountability group. But I am a business uh, strategist, so I work with business teams all over, and a lot of you that have helped build wonderful businesses. So if you happen to be one of those overachievers, I'm just going to give you this shortcut. This looks stupid, like you're not, like it's not worth doing, but this is the key to being able to supercharge what you're doing and to learn. You got to learn. You got to learn you. So, and what that means is not just peruse your week and go, oh, well, I'm really proud of it. I am looking for this part. What went well? And what can be improved. The reason we start with what went well is because you're trying to build systems. So, one of the things that'll happen, because the point of the 12-week year, the point of this accountability group is one, I don't actually need the money for this. That I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because the people around me, which is you, um, it's really fun to watch you do well. And it's really painful to watch you consistently struggle with the action items on your list. And if we pull you together in our loving arms around you, you will succeed. So you have to be trained on how to achieve in this way. And this just happens to be kind of an easy process. It's not the only process, it's not the only thing, but we're learning to build systems. And the reason that you're learning to do this is right here. What went well? When we look at things that went well, that's the key. Because if something goes well for you, you will do it again. And what that also means is it's very easy for it to fall into a system. And so if getting up earlier so that you can go out for a walk is working, write it down because now it's going to start cueing you into what works. That's why I have Executive Walking Club. That's why I invite people to walk with me at 5 in the morning. That's why we're at the lake. That's why we're at Trek. That's why we're there because it's really easy to not get out the door. It's really easy to just not do it. So look for things that go well. And then the other part is what can be improved. What that is, and I don't want you to just peruse it and go, I should have taken more time or whatever. This is the point of looking for what can be improved is you're looking for ways to systematize. So looking for ways that you can consolidate tasks, group tasks, um, do other things that can really help you maneuver. A lot of people have um, a clear idea of what their purpose is, but they don't actually have an action plan. And very, very few have an action plan that they are deliberate about, that they study, that they make a point of it to achieve. And that's what we're learning. That's what you and I are going to be doing together for the next 12 weeks is we're going to be looking at that weekly reflection. I need you to look at what went well and start thinking in your mind, especially for those of you who have taken other classes from me, so you have another body of knowledge to work from. But from a prosperity mindset, the reason you want to know what went well is because that's what you're going to magnify. So if something was faster than you thought, or that it was easier, or that you actually, what went well might have been having somebody else do it. When I start looking at things like editing or whatever, sometimes it's not how do I get it done? It's who can get it done. So that counts. What went well is sometimes getting it off your plate. And Also in this, we have the why. You've heard me talk about that. That's in a different video. And the scorecard. This is one that is super easy to get rid of. Again, if you're new to this, I only really want you to do one or two. You can do up to five, but it's really saying, look, here are the tactics. This is not the tasks. So the tactics are the big one, right? This is kind of the how am I? And then right? So tactics are like the how am I going to achieve this, right? The tactics are how are you going to achieve it? The tasks are the daily items that you're going to do. So you will have another list on what this is. And a lot of times what I will do is I will fill this out. So right? When we start to look at what are the tactics for me is I have to move around 30 minutes a day. Okay. Well, let me just do that. But it's part of a bigger goal of reducing my stress level. So if my goal was to reduce stress level, what are the tactics that I'm going to do? So my tactics are what I'm kind of putting through onto that list. And the tactics for me is to go, did I actually move my body for 30 minutes somewhere, somehow, something? Because it's really easy to get chained to your desk, especially if you're the boss. So it's really easy to like get up, get to your desk, do all your stuff, get home, run your family, and suddenly the day is over. So tactics are like that. If some of you have creative things that you have, so that might be really going, I have so many words that I have to write in a day. What is great as this is as a math geek, what is great about this scorecard as a math geek is if you just do this 70% of the time, you're still going to be ahead. Now, out of the other groups that we did, everybody gives themselves a letter grade at the end. And what is surprising is there were kind of two letter grades. The letter grade I asked for um, out of the other people that were in the group, so we have like 40 of you at a time, that 100% of the time, every single person that committed to coming in, 100% that came to class and actually used some of the materials, not even all of them, but some of them, 100% of them said, I am further ahead. That's great. Very few people gave themselves an A because of this. So if you can focus on this scorecard, really knowing your tactics, really knowing the tasks and filling it in and giving yourself the 3 hours chunk of time and then reviewing it, the review is how you get to be great the next round. And so it's doing it again. So when you do it the second time, you'll see what's there. You'll see what you missed. You'll see what you kind of see the little scarlet lies that you tell yourself, right? That I'll do it tomorrow, or mm, I don't really need this. I really don't need this timer. Yes, you need this timer that everyone that gets their tasks done can't get from start to finish anymore. We don't live those lives. You have to be able to say, these are the things that I'm going to move forward, and here's how I'm going to move them forward every day, even if I can't get to a finished product. Because 15 minutes on a task means that that task is 15 minutes further. And when I do that 7 days in a row, it's a lot further. So when you're starting to think about what you're doing, just think about it's 84 days. What can I do for 84 days? What am I willing to actually track on my scorecard? And this scorecard, I keep it out. I keep it out. And in that week review, a lot of you, because it's on Sunday, a lot of you are doing the lion's share of this work on Sunday. Many of you are coming to class, especially for those of you who are in the morning session. Many of you are coming in on Sunday, you're holding yourself accountable, and then you're jazzed up and you're choosing to use your 3 hour block of time exactly afterwards. Or you're using these scorecards after class, and that's just fine. Use them. But for those of you who are high achieving, who are going to possibly come and do it again, do a second round, a third round, one, you're going to get smarter. Two, you get to pick different stuff. So I don't always have to do the same goal, because once I start setting up systems in my life, the things I did last round are already working. So I can pick new things. If you're looking to say, how am I going to expand the things that I do? Use your 12 weeks, get systems in place, learn how to do it, learn you, and what works and what doesn't. Learn you, learn what you can give away, learn what you have to keep, but use that as your first 12 weeks. And then the second one, pick up a different project. So at the end of the year, you're just saying, look, you might have 15 projects, but you may choose to put them into different slots. So if learning how to meal plan was in one 12-week period, the next one might be something different. So just pick ones that are today. For those of you who were in monetary identity, that took that class with me, the lesson that you got out of there is 90% of what you have on your list isn't actually for you to do. So it's an imaginary, like, overachiever disease. So 90% of what you think you should get done isn't really for you to get done. And that's what traction's built off of, that's whatever. But what you've learned from that class of monetary identity is that once you understand what your goal is, the target you have to hit, all the other things fall away. And what ends up happening is you get to hit your target because you're not screwing around with all this other stuff. So if I'm trying to get a fitness goal, then I'm just going to focus on getting a fitness goal for the next 84 days. If I'm focusing on how to not be crazy and reduce my stress, okay, I'm going to do that for 84 days. And after that 84 days of really examining whatever the item is, it allows you, from a prosperity mindset, it allows you to interface with your own goals with grace, with integrity, right? Here's the prosperity mindset part, right? Is that now we can say, let me love this section up in myself and show some compassion and give it a chance to change the pattern. And and by giving it a system, the system is kind of like a little bit of courage. So you'll get a little bit of courage. You'll say, look, I'm going to focus on this just for the next 84 days. And I'm going to see what happens. It is right when we talk about self-esteem, it is holding the self in esteem, right? It is saying, look, I'm going to hold the self in esteem. So many of you have picked very personal projects. And this time period is for you to go, I'm going to use this little chart, this little scorecard. I'm going to say, look, here's what it is. But you will be able to then hold the self in esteem and love up what your progress is, how you're doing. Again, I would take on the seeker mentality. How much stuff could happen in 12 weeks? Like, how can I write down and work through this in a way that I can replicate it in other areas of my life? The reason that I am passionate about teaching you how to crush it is because the replication format that you can learn from this is life changing. And if you can have a group of people that changes every 12 weeks, you are no longer just taking a stab in the dark, is that you're building this purpose in your life that is action based. And that is where we see change. And so I am hoping that you actually do the paperwork, right? Do the review, do the scorecard, right? The weekly reflection. You want to do those. So I will see you in class. And remember, this is a way for you to love on you. And that's the part that I'm the most proud of because that is an act of rebellion. And to be able to say, I'm going to take time out for my own dreams and the things that are important to me every day, and I'm going to give them 100% of my effort first, that's powerful. That's powerful. And that's what I want for you. So I will see you in class and, keep doing the good stuff and focus on what goes well because that means something greater. See you.